Hey everyone, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube video. I am in my bathtub and I am making this video for a reason in my bathtub because this is where I spent a lot of time reflecting on not wanting to be here anymore and ending my life and why I wanted to die. I would take extremely long baths. I would basically fill the bathtub up so the water was basically as high I could go without it overflowing, and I would just kind of hover like with the water right here if I was laying down, just like that. And I would just think about if I just slipped away into, darkness, then I wouldn't suffer anymore. And that's a sad thing to talk about, but it's an important thing to talk about because it's impossible for anyone who doesn't have OCD to understand what that desperation feels like. It's why the recovered person gives the best advice. It's not even close. I'm not saying that to put people down who are trying their best to work with OCD. But you're going to get the best advice from what it was like to be at Normandy Beach from someone who stormed Normandy Beach and watched all their friends get their heads blown off versus someone that teaches World War II history at Oxford. I mean, they both have value. It's just the lived experience is the most important component of something like this or addiction or anything of that matter. So you just got to be realistic about that. So, yeah. So probably going to be a little bit of a tougher video just for me because, there's no fear of me thinking about this. But, when you talk about it a lot, it obviously naturally as a human can bring back some pretty sad but also grateful memories of living at this time and being able to get out of it the way I have. So before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below, let me know what you think, and let's just jump right into it. So my chronic OCD journey began in June of 2019 when I had a panic attack and then went to tinnitus. I'm not going to go into my whole journey, but let's say all of 2019, the remainder, so what, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, plus a lot of 2020 and like maybe early 21 at times if I had big spikes. Those 18 months to 24 months, I had the police called to my house 3 times. I didn't want to live anymore with all Daisy's trying to come in here right now. It's okay, boo-boo, you can come in here. And actually, interesting that Daisy's... Come here, boo-boo. It's funny because she hates the bath. What's actually not just being in the bathtub, Daisy, my pit bull, who's about to turn 10, is one of the main reasons... I don't say one of the main reasons, but one of the reasons why I also... I'm here today because just being around here, good cases, is one of the reasons why I am here because just being around her and petting her and seeing her smile and, at the time she was a little bit more hyper than she is now because she was, 4 or 5 at the time. And she really just her spunk and spontaneity, going to the dog park, can't bring her to the dog park anymore because she's a grumpy little fuck, right? And you attack people. Because you're a little fuck. You're something special. She won't even let me give her a bath, and then she jumps in the bath. Now she wants to get in the bathroom. I'm talking about a video about ending my life. What's wrong with you? You're a weirdo. So, and not only was the bathtub a contemplation area for me, but I obviously struggled a lot with adult websites, as a lot of men do. So this is where I would watch adult websites, in this tub and in my old house as well. And, I haven't watched adult websites now in almost 3.5 years. And, 2 weeks from now, 2 months from yesterday will be 3.5 years with no adult websites and no FAP. And then I would actually have my vape here too. So I'd be vaping, using adult websites, thinking about ending my life. Erica would knock on the door after 45 minutes and be like, hey, what's going on? She was obviously very stressed. Erica lost about almost like 1.6 stones, 8 kilos, 8.5 kilos, and about 20 pounds, 22 pounds, just from the stress I put her through. And then she was struggling with wine usage herself because she told me, she's like, and she'd never done that. She's like, I just was so stressed out and so scared that you weren't going to be here anymore. And, that freaked me out. And I don't know why I didn't do it because this wasn't the only place. I've told the story before. There's a construction a business maybe 1.5 miles down the road, a kilometer or 2 down the road, of just cranes that for sale that would be used for job sites, and how the cranes would be up. And I would just imagine myself hanging from that crane all the time, vividly. Would drive past it and just be like, just don't be a lot. Just just kill yourself. Just don't go through with this. And it was a huge change for me because, you know, when everyone's situations are different, this is just a reality. I came from a good background. Like, my family had their problems, but my dad was an attorney. He did very well. I came from a very privileged background in that way. And so I came from an easier life than most to the pits of despair. So it's not even like I had a lot of troubles. Not that that makes it any easier. It doesn't. But, I mean, the drasticness of how I was raised to this it was a huge difference. And, you know, after a while of practicing my beliefs and reading the books on the reading list and, you know, having the police called to my house, driving off in the middle of the night, I realized that maybe there is some hope. Maybe I don't need to do anything this drastic. And people are like, well, think about it. I didn't care about my family. I didn't care about how they felt. Oh my God, well, you know, I didn't have that moral peace. There's nothing wrong with that. It just didn't affect me. I've had numerous people say to me, you know, well, how could you do that to Erica? How could you do that to my family? I'm just going to be honest. I'm like, I didn't give a fuck about them. I don't give a fuck about them at the time. I was like, I care about myself because I'm suffering with OCD and they're not. Okay? You know how many people want to say that on camera, but they're so afraid? You know, this moral superiority garbage nonsense world that we live in. Of like, you shouldn't do that. Oh my God, what a terrible thing to do. How could you go to Everest and die when you have kids behind? That's such an irresponsible thing. People do things because they want to do them whether you think they're selfish or not. It's just the way the world is. You know? You hear that from people. They're like, oh, you know, taking your life is a form of selfishness. It's like, okay, well, do you want me to give you OCD at the level that we all have it? And then we'll see what you think. Mr. High Horse. So it's, you know, obviously I don't think like that now. I'm just saying how I give that an example of how I thought at the time. Now I can understand why people do basically anything they do, whether there's no personal experience, because I have to be an expert in the mind to do what I do and work with OCD all day, plus doing it with myself and it feeling as real as it's going to get. So I did want to make this video for you to show you just the reality of what that was. And like, again, that was not a few months. It was like this for a couple of years. Even when I was doing good, even like in 2022, after about 3 years, if I had a big spike, which was rare, but it would happen, my initial default would be like, I just can't take this anymore. I want to end my life. I would just be ripped back to that pretty quickly. And Daisy over here, petting her the entire video. No, you have to come in here. You don't like the bathtub, so you have to come in here if you want me to pet you. She's like, I feel like she's going to leave. Oh my gosh. So Daisy, my family, and of course I did think that, you know, even though I said what I said 3 minutes ago about not giving a shit. I still would think about that. I would think like, oh my gosh, what is this going to do? I mean, I don't believe in afterlife, so like, I'll be here, and, you know, and not saying I'm right on that. I'm just saying what my beliefs are. And I would think, God, she would just be absolutely just devastated for a long time or forever, and that's going to stick with her. I mean, obviously my family and, you know, my mom already lost her only sister, you know, from cirrhosis of the liver 3 months after she lost my dad. And I would just think about stuff. That wasn't enough to make me not want to do it. I wanted to live because I wanted to live. I mean, that's another reality. No one's going to make you not end it. You're the only one that can not do that. It comes down to you. And I just didn't want to do that after a while. I was like, I would rather suffer and enjoy my existence as much as I could. Enjoy my time with Daisy. You know, that's why I got that surgery to take cancer out of you last year. You know, it cost me $3,000, you fuck. She's like, I know. And humor was huge. So yeah, there's hope. A little bit more of a morbid video, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. There's hope. You can get better. Please don't give up. Please, 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 please don't give up. Oh my God. You know, it's understandable to be at that low, but, you know, there is hope and you can get better. So hope to hear from you soon. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.